the knowledge and the understanding that we've been given, and we try to do something with it, and we try to make a positive difference in the lives of not only our children, but in the lives of other children with disabilities. In my case, I've learned to be an educational advocate for children with my daughter's disability, and I've helped numerous children receive communication devices and trainings for staff at schools because it's such a rare disorder. So every time I go to an IEP meeting or I'm successful in helping a child get a communication device, it helps to reinforce the fact that what I'm doing is really helping out and it's really making a difference. And I know that Ollie and Tracy feel the same way. So in their case, they've used their background in business and engineering to create Hope for Mobility. And what they've done has been astounding. And it's just made a huge, huge impact. So for my daughter, in just a short time that she's been involved, which is less than a year now, she's benefited from their aquatics program, where they help to pay for the facility where the aquatics physical therapy is offered. And that is something that she wasn't able to do because it's so expensive to have a facility with an indoor pool. And just the joy on her face when she's in the pool with her goggles on is just so amazing, and she loves it. She loves being in the pool with the other kids, and it's great to see that. And then just recently, she received an adapted bicycle, and that has been wonderful. Every week when she would go to physical therapy, she would ride the adapted bicycle, and she would always enjoy it. But now that she has one at home, we're able to let her ride more often. And it just, you can tell it just makes her feel so good and feel so independent, even though we're assisting her, that she just feels so confident when she's riding her bicycle. And little things like that mean the world to parents when we can see that little bit of joy in our child's face. So for that, I genuinely thank Hope for Mobility and Tracy and Ollie. But to take that even a step further, they not only provided my daughter with an adapted bicycle, they provided 39 children with adapted bicycles on one day. And that is unheard of. It was an amazing day. And it was something that was just, when you looked around and you saw all the kids with smiles on their face being fitted for their bikes and with their helmets on, it was just such a great thing. And you'll see pictures throughout the day of, the different kids when they receive them. And hopefully some of you were able to be at the event when they gave the bikes away, but it was really phenomenal. So, that's how Hope for Mobility has helped my family in such a short period of time. And I'm sure they're going to have other families speaking about how they've helped, how Hope for Mobility has helped them. But I also just wanted to share one last thing with you, just to help you realize a little bit more about what your presence at events like this mean to our families. You have to understand that when you have a special needs child, it's not only that child that benefits from organizations like these, it's the entire family. We have other children, and a lot of times those other children are not able to participate in certain activities because we don't necessarily have the funds because we've used them on our special needs child. Sometimes there's traveling that we're not able to do. There's different events that we might not be able to attend. And it's just a huge effect and a huge impact on the whole family. So when things like this are able to be provided for our special needs child, it really makes a difference to the entire family, because that means that now that other child is able to participate in something that they might not have otherwise have been able to do. And I think a lot of times they go on the back burner, and parents, we have to kind of weigh things out, and we have a lot of guilt, and we have to try and do the best that we can. But with your help and your donations, it really makes a huge difference to know that that's one more thing that we can help to balance things out for the rest of our family. So I thank you. I thank you for being here. I thank you for your donations. And I would just ask that if you have any more to give, that you do so, and that you please continue to remember how much that we appreciate you, and how much we always appreciate everything that people do, even if you just, give us a call and say, hey, do you need anything, or whatever. We always appreciate everything anybody does, because it's a huge weight on us, but we love our kids, and we wouldn't trade them for the world. So thank you very much. I'm sure that Ollie and Tracy would like to say something, so if you would please welcome them now. One last thing. I do want to mention again, Ollie is so amazing, and Hope for Mobility, that Ollie, he was awarded the Ford Freedom Unsung Heroes Award, and that was pretty huge, because it just goes to show that someone here in our community has made such a difference that he was recognized by Ford, and so we're very proud of him for that. And we hope that he will continue to work for our kids and help us all out. So with your donations and with your help, I'm sure he will continue to do that and work even harder. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Unfortunately, Liz cannot be here today due to the scheduling and conflict with Hurricane Irma. I'm going to introduce Ollie in 1 second, but I just want to bring something. I concur, having been through this for 19 years now, I concur with everything Liz has said. And I also want you to also understand something. I don't care if you make $20,000 a year, $50,000, $250,000 a year. Special need, no special need, when it comes to your children, you want to give them everything. The additional expense of a wheelchair ramp or a lift or transportation or meals, it's a never-ending list. And I'm not saying it's not a never-ending list for every family. But when you have a child with special needs, you just want to give them more and more and more. And thanks to Hope for Mobility, families that can't afford that more and more because of you guys, give them something else. The bike, the ramp, the lift, the swimming, whatever. So if I'm being preachy, it's not preaching for money or preaching, it's because it means that much. So that being said, I'd like to introduce Ollie Jones, and he will tell you a little bit more. But again, thank you very much. We're not closed yet on the silent auction, so feel free to go on back there. And if Ollie would come up, say a few words and make some presentations.
Hello everyone. Just wanted to say thank you so much for coming out today. I wish I could control the weather. I mean, it pains me to see how wet you all got out there today. But as compensation, each of you have a return gift certificate to come back. In addition to that, we're going to give you another one.
All right.
Okay, so before you leave,
All right.
and each of these are for a foursome. Okay, so you can bring 3 of your friends. Isn't that nice? Okay. You can choose whatever course you want to. You, as the lead person, get to come in for free. The other people, your team, they pay $50 or $75 for it. Again, thank you all for coming. I want to start off by awarding a door prize. Okay? And this goes to the very first person that registered today. The very first person that came in was Tony Morano. Tony wins a gift card from Strathmore Bagel. We have a representative for Strathmore Bagel here. Paul, can you stand up? As many of you know, our charity Hope for Mobility is based on, well, actually founded or developed out of hardship. Our second daughter, Janae Hope Jones, she was born 16 years ago with a very rare condition called AVM, arterial venous malformation, which led to cerebral palsy. She was also diagnosed with autism, epilepsy, yet Janae is the love of our life, and she's just a joy, and we love her so much. And I mean, she continues to inspire me. I mean, I don't think I would be up here doing the things that I do for Hope for Mobility because, if it wasn't for her. The name comes from her middle name, Hope. Janae Hope Jones. That's Hope for Mobility. So it's amazing how a child who most people would write off could do so much, through someone else. And that's what she's done for me. And looks like it's effective. I mean, you all, look at you. You came out to support not just my desire to help my daughter, but all these other children. You've heard stories so far, and I mean, she's just a blessing to us. 8 years ago, I decided to be more proactive in her development, so I started designing equipment for her. Her school fell in love with what I was doing, and I asked her to design equipment for them. It turned into a small business. And then I realized there were families out there that couldn't afford the equipment. So I started Hope for Mobility. And we have annual charity events, and this is our 7th annual charity event. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you who came out to support us. Could you give yourselves a... I want to also take a moment to thank my volunteers. Can you all stand up, please? All of our volunteers. You guys are amazing, and I truly appreciate you. You just don't know how much I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I also want to recognize my board members. I have 2 of my board members here. We're a small organization. I only have 3 other board members, and 2 of them are here. Tracy, my wife, can you stand? I also want to recognize Team Vorbeek. Could you guys stand? The reason I want to recognize them is because they're here to support, well, to represent a former supporter of ours, a very good friend of mine who passed away last year. His name was Charlie Robbins. Charlie was special to me because he's the reason I'm even here down in Florida. He recruited me back in 2004 to come down and work for the engineering firm that he was working for. So if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't know any of you here today. So I thank you guys for keeping his memory alive. If you see his wife or talk to her, just tell her I'm always thinking about Charlie.
Jerry's thinking about you too.
Now, I think my wife has something to share with you all. Could you come up, Tracy?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. Keep it going here. We're so grateful. We know that the weather wasn't on our side today, but you guys are. And that's really what we're here celebrating. I was thinking about this whole thing about what is our purpose. And I don't know, I'm a deep thinker. Those days I think about, well, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? And I think there's many answers you can give to that, but I really believe, one of our most important purposes is to serve others, to help others, to love our neighbors. That's true to who I am, how I was raised, and how both of us are together. And we really see that Hope Mobility has been a way that God is allowing us to meet and serve others. We see that as a blessing. We have a child with special needs. It is not easy. But we still recognize how blessed we are because of her. She's been the greatest treasure in our life. We would be different people if it wasn't for her. It's just so touching. I see her sister, the person she's becoming, because my oldest sister, my oldest daughter is in college. She's been impacted by her life and has a desire to help others. Even her younger brother. And I see how Janae, who is very content with who she is, she knows who she is. And she doesn't feel like she needs to be anyone else, but God is bringing to me. And that is always a challenge to me. And I thank God for her because of her, we're able to impact so many children's lives and help those families. And it's not anything we're saying, oh, look at us. No, but what God has done through us. And we're so grateful that because of that purpose and your support, we're able to continue doing what we've been doing. You're right there with us. We have an experience and we understand, so we're able to connect with these children and these families. But ultimately, without you, it wouldn't be possible. So really, we thank you. We thank you that we're so grateful for the gift that we're able to give. We thank you for your support, for the encouragement. Some of you have come year after year and supported and encouraged us. We know there are so many great causes out there, great organizations, and we are so grateful that you've chosen to be part of this organization, to recognize what a blessing and how you can help these children that are precious in God's sight, precious in our sight, and we just appreciate you. We thank you for the donations. We have some people that have just continued to be there. That have just donated, been there whenever we needed help. The bikes we gave away. It's only because we had people willing to take from what they had and give to this great organization. So thank you for that support. Continue to be there. We're just amazed at what's happened this year, and we're looking forward to what's going to happen in the future. But again, we need your partnership and support in that. We have so many ways for you to continue to encourage this organization and make sure when someone comes to us, we never want to have to say no. And more people are hearing about the work we're doing. We want to continue to give bikes away. We want to continue to give those wheelchairs. You would be amazed at the simplest thing that a child needs just to get to school and what that cost is. Even those that have insurance, many of you know, co-pays are really high. Many of us hate January 1st because that means all the deductibles reset. You know, and it's so expensive. We thank you again for all your support, all your encouragement. Please continue to just walk this walk with us so that we continue to serve those in so many ways. We really trying to encourage people to be monthly donors. It's a great way to just continue to invest in this company and invest in these children's lives. We thank you. Thank you for being with us today. And we just thank you for everything you're doing.
Mary, could you come up, please? Mary is our other board member, and she has something to share.
Thank you all for coming. I kind of, you know, it's been a joy to walk side by side with Ollie and Tracy as they've made this organization happen. And it's always challenging me to see what more can I do. I'm a physical therapist. I work with children. I've done it for a long time, and this is kind of like my little side project that I, you know, once a month we meet and we talk about what else can we do. And, you know, my goal is always to empower families to provide for their children the best that they can. So in our country, we have lots of kids that get a lot of adaptive equipment for daytime use, wheelchairs and standers and walkers, and braces and all that. But we don't take care of children's bodies at night. Children go to bed and they sleep in whatever position they end up in if they have spasticity or reflexes that put their bodies in an abnormal alignment. And then with growth, I see over the years children grow up having deformities that can only be corrected surgically. I have a little less here. So a few months ago, Ollie came to me and he said, here's this grant opportunity through Children's Services Council. What do you think we could do with it? And I said, boy, there's one thing that we don't do well in the United States, and it's nighttime postural care for children who don't move well. So in Europe, in England, it's a standard of care for children that they can grow up with special positioning supports in the bed that are comfortable and they can sleep with. So I had been trying to get some of this implemented in our local community, and it wasn't going anywhere. And it's expensive, and it's not covered by insurance. So I wrote a grant, not sure that anything was going to happen. I never wrote a grant before. I'm not a grant writer, but I put it together, and it was accepted. So this, actually, in a few weeks, I'm going to travel to England. I'm going to be trained, and then I'm going to come back and train families and other therapists in this type of care for children. And through Hope for Mobility, we'll be able to outfit 10 children with a nighttime postural support. So basically, it's a little pilot project that I'm hoping will have some effect for the families that get it, and as well as kind of open the eyes of our local community doctors and therapists that we could do a little bit more. So anyway, it's Hope for Mobility to make that happen, and I'm just very excited that we can do that.
I'm going to take a little break in the action and announce a couple of raffle winners. Okay? You guys ready for some prizes? Is Mike Bruno out there? Oh. Come here, Mike. You want a Carrabba's gift certificate. Is Bryce out there? Bryce? No Bryce? I'll hold that for him. Jim Ferris? Come on up, Jim. You want a stove? And you also want a restaurant.com certificate. Lisa, Lisa out there? Come on up, Lisa. Carrabba's gift card. Actually, Lisa, you're a two-time winner, Strathmore. Jorma? Is there Jorma? No Jorma? Well, I'll hold a gift card for her. Joanna? Actually, Joanna. Is Joanna here? I'll hold that for her. Mr. Herbert Flo, you have a Target gift card. Chris Knoll. Chris, you want a Stonewood Grill gift card? Mary McGilly? Who's Mary McGilly? That name sounds familiar.
Is that fair?
Mary, you want a Shoreside car wash? Randall Ricker? Is Randall here? There he is. You get a car wash too, buddy. Yeah. This is a nice car wash. I think
I'm doing that right now myself.
Okay, Susan Roman. Bryce. Bryce. Okay. I also have Wes S. There's Wes over there. This is for you, Shoreshine, and Wendell Shoreshine. Okay.
All right, I'm going to bring someone up in just a moment. Al's going to help me make a quick introduction. The other thing I wanted to mention is, aside from the silent auction that's still open, is everybody keeps saying about equipment, about insurance and everything else. Trust me. Insurance, we have platinum insurance, and you have to fight tooth and nail for even the most basic of things. So again, what you're doing is tremendous. I've worked with other organizations up north and some down here. And one thing I think is fascinating is if just one of you go back to work on Monday and say, hey, I went to an event for Hope for Mobility, and someone says, what's that? That's one more person knowing. And because of that, I've seen full corporations say, you know what, last year we gave to this organization, you know what, next year we're going to give to Hope for Mobility. I never heard about them, and here's what they do. Let's go to their website, let's find out. Next thing you know, the organization has thousands of dollars or $10,000 because one of you went to work on Monday and said, you know, we've been giving this organization a lot, let's give to this organization. And so I appreciate, there's also opportunities to give monthly, to give annually, and you know, it's crazy. You know, next time you guys are out and about, next restaurant you go to, I don't care if it's up here or Clematis, when you take that step into that restaurant and you realize, wait a second, how's a 350-pound wheelchair, electric wheelchair, get into that restaurant? It doesn't. And you know, the same thing with people in their house. We made a decision where we live, not based on the typical factors, but because Alec can breeze right in, Alec can get in his walker, Alec can go to the bathroom, Alec can swim in the pool. So we got rid of a two-story house plus a basement for a one-story house. And people make sacrifices, and rightfully so, but it's not in everyone's mindset. So, you know, when the person feels entitled to park in a handicapped parking space and we bitch at them, we're doing it for good reason. And down in Florida, they tend to do that a lot. I think once they're about 6 years old, it becomes